Greetings, Patriots. Today, I must address the proceedings of yesterday, the anniversary of the Capitol riot on January 6th, 2021, or what I have now named the first annual Propaganda Day. Well, what are the words that we've been fed for the past year, culminating today? Insurrection, domestic terrorist, extremist, sacred building, threat to our democracy. Just because those words are repeated ad nauseum doesn't make them true. Those words have meaning, and none of them are appropriate for what happened on the 6th of last year, nor is democracy an appropriate way to describe our beautiful constitutional republic. Well, yesterday, there were two very inappropriate comparisons made. To compare the riot on 1/6 to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor is a slap in the face to all of those who suffered and died on those horrific days. There were not 3,000 citizens killed. There was not a terrorist attack that plunged us into a bloody conflict. God have mercy that this battle of ideas doesn't resort into a bloody civil war. Other than that reprehensible comparison, I could not hold back my eye rolling and laughter with the rest of their speeches. The hypocrisy was too glaring. Here are a number of quips spoken by the president and vice president. I will let you consider them. America is the oldest and greatest democracy in the world. There are forces that seek to dismantle our democracy. And then they proceeded to say democracy a grand total of 25 times. Corruption should be given no quarter. People who care about power over principle, fear over hope, personal gain over public good. Are we going to be a nation that lives not by the light of truth, but by the shadow of lies? We have a responsibility to see each other as neighbors. Maybe we don't agree, but we aren't adversaries. It is time for America to stand for the rule of law. It is time for us to keep the promise of America alive. That promise is at risk. We are a nation of laws and order, not chaos, of peace, not violence. You can't obey the law only when it is convenient. We are in a battle for the soul of America. Now imagine if those words had been spoken in a different time or context, and especially by different people. Imagine them spoken by Washington or John Quincy Adams or Calvin Coolidge or Ronald Reagan. Many of those phrases I said before are true. But in our current political climate, those words were spoken to manipulate. So let me take some of those words and use them in a way that speaks truth and gives America some hope. Let us be proud of our nation. Let us keep her together. People of America, we have the oldest and greatest constitution in the world. Yes, there are forces that seek to dismantle it, and people who care about power over principle and personal gain over public good. People who seek to instill fear over hope. But I have hope for America. It is time for us to keep the promise of America alive. And that promise is at risk. That promise is not of government benevolence, but the promises of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. It is time for America to stand for the rule of law, to be a nation where corruption is given no quarter. We are supposed to be a nation of laws. A nation of order, not chaos, of peace, not violence. We cannot obey the law only when it is convenient. We can also not enforce the laws only when they are convenient. We must look to the future, but not forget our history. Are we going to be a nation that lives by the light of truth or by the shadow of lies? We are an exceptional nation, and we have a responsibility to see each other as neighbors, to love our neighbor as ourselves. They aren't our adversaries, but our fellow countrymen. We are in a battle for the soul of the nation. Will that soul find redemption in the providence that has guided us thus far? Or will that soul turn black with hate and envy and greed? Let us move forward with history as our guide and our independent, liberty-minded, creative American spirit to push us to a better and more constitutional tomorrow. Be blessed and stay free. Marissa out.